Hello, friends. November 15th, 2023. I'm so excited. There was no catastrophic terrorist attack in San Francisco today. And I got myself all anxious about that. Biden met with Zing over at Fioli. And if you've never been to Fioli or heard about it, it's a super, super opulent home, maybe about 120 years old. It was like one of the first homes to have electricity in that part of California. It had servant quarters. They've got a big pool outside. It's really just an opulent mansion. And it's some kind of state park. Nobody lives there anymore. Then they close it in the winter and they open it in the springtime. I went there on opening day one time. Or around opening day. I saw Tim Draper, venture capitalist, in the parking lot. Yeah. I'm going to try to do the news off the top of my head. The leader of Iran said he's not going to help Hamas with Israel, which is smart. Another example of Iran minding its own business. I haven't really heard of anything good coming out of the APEC, Asia Pacific Economic. It's not conference. Consortium, something like that. Let's find out what it is. APEC. Cooperation. Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. That was easy. Gavin Newsom met Zing at the airport, and Gavin Newsom's wife was wearing a dress that looked like a big sock. And she had a stain around her belly, like she had spilled some food on herself. And her small titties were hanging out. Hey, Charles. Yeah, exactly. How much money did he bring? He probably gave him Bitcoin. And the photo of Gavin Newsom and Gavin's wife, who might have slept with Harvey Weinstein. That's an interesting connection, because maybe Harvey Weinstein is a bit of a pimp, and he's pimping women for blackmail and control in politics. It's like, hey, Gavin, we'll put you in power if you do what we want. We'll give you all the cocaine and we'll find you a nice wife, but you got to do what we want. Something like that. She's not a former actress, but she's a beauty. Well, she's maybe a 7 or an 8, but that's all interpretive, of course. Probably a good wife. She gave him like 4 children. So I think that's, pretty beautiful. And then Janet Yellen was there. Janet Yellen, man, she's like 5 foot or 4'5". She's a shorty. And somebody saw her eating at In-N-Out Burger. All these people are curious about the In-N-Out Burger. It's an okay burger. I think Five Guys hamburger is twice as good. It's twice as much money also. Uh, oh, it rained today. It sounded like it was really going to rain. And I'm like, hold on, Wayne. When the news says it's going to give you something, the weather, it usually doesn't give you as much rain as they say. And every hour it kept decreasing. And it sprinkled a little bit, just what I call polka dots, not enough to make anything with a little layer of water on it, nothing like that. And I went to go get some firewood. I wasn't sure if it'd be raining for a few days. So I wanted to get some dry firewood. And no, I haven't had a Freddy's burger. No, we don't have those out here, Charles. So I went to get a tote, and the tote I was going to grab was sitting upright. There was a trapped tarantula. He had fallen in there, or she, and it was still alive. So I tilted it over so it can crawl out, and it didn't really move. It kind of went into the corner. So I gave it like a little dish of water because maybe it was thirsty and hungry. I don't know how long it could have been there for weeks, could have been there for a month, but it's still alive. So I did some Googling. I knew they're not poisonous to humans or deadly. They eat crickets and bugs. And yeah, he was about that size, about 3.5 inches. Kind of cute to see a weird critter like that. And I was getting a tote to put the wood in. So I get some small sticks. Oh, that's good to hear, Charles. The lady tarantulas live 20 to 25 years, and the male tarantulas live 8 years. Yeah. So I went and found some dry sticks, and then I reheated the sirloin beef and baked or refried beans that I've been eating for the last few days. They're like 3 small burritos. I had 3 of those. I was like sleeping with sour cream and green salsa. It was pretty good. I'm pretty happy. But man, my day just flew. It's so weird. Like the sun sets at 4:40 in the afternoon. For some reason, I don't remember it being that early last year, but I just wasn't paying attention. Huh. Yeah. The world just seems weird right now. Like the fighting in Israel. And come Saturday will be 5 weeks. Other people are saying they think that Hamas is a Israeli proxy army and that Israel attacked itself, like what I'm saying. Jeremy Corbyn, the British politician, his brother was saying that. And so we're kind of pretty much saying the same things. It was, a big surprise that the border was left open for them to come on in, and Egyptian intelligence had told them that something was on the works. Yeah. Israel has lost its credibility with the world. Yeah, let's go to SF Gate and see what's happening over there, if anything. And we'll go to RT. And I'll pull up Google Finance. This is San Francisco's a ghost town this week. Makes sense. Oh, Biden and Zing meet in the Bay Area mansion that made soap opera history. I didn't know that. Pop culture. That's interesting. Israeli accused this is RT. Israel accuses Turkey of supporting terrorism. American students abandoning foreign languages. Tehran tells Hamas it won't enter a war with Israel, which is good. Taiwanese election tilts in China's favor. Uh, the Pentagon is using banned Russian oil. That's comical. That is comical. Tesla to double imports from India. Huh. Israel demolishes the Gaza parliament. Come on. France calls for the arrest of President Assad. I'm trying to read the article here about Fioli in the soap opera. Oh, the mansion was in decline and it was gifted to the National Trust for Historic Preservation in 1970. Let me give you a link to Fioli because it is spectacular. Yeah. Dynasty. The shot its 3-episode pilot there. Oh, interesting. So that was the trivia I was looking for. Timothy Brodovchov. Russia has been giving the West a chance to come to its senses for 16 years. That must be in relation to Kiev. Is that right? Maybe. It's impossible to create a working European security architecture when most states are controlled by outside actors with no direct skin in the game. I think they're referring to the USA. The 1990 Treaty on Conventional Armed Forces in Europe, a curious creation of the post-Cold War era, has ceased to exist. At the time it was created, the self-proclaimed victory at that period, the United States and NATO were feverishly seeking ways to make their triumph at least a little more civilized, while the defeated USSR was trying to make it less humiliating. The result of these equally futile efforts was documented doom to be short and rather inglorious footnote in history. Yeah. Russia. Okay, Google Finance. I found a few places near you. I triggered my automatic assistant here when I said the G word. America's top selling car will soon only will America's top selling car will soon only come as a hybrid. What is that? Is that a Toyota or a Ford? The Toyota Camry. Wow. Okay. That's neat to know. Charles, how was your day? Anything exciting going on today, Charles? It's kind of a slow day for me, I guess. Well, be darned. Microsoft is finally making custom chips, and they're all about AI. The Verge. Uh-huh. American Airlines passenger ordered to pay huge restitution after forcing flight to be diverted. Oh no. How much restitution? That could be like $100,000. That scannable Spotify tattoo sounded like a good idea at the time. Oh, here's the Microsoft finally making custom chips. Azure Mia 100 and Cobalt 100 chips are the first two custom silicon chips designed by Microsoft for its cloud infrastructure. Interesting. The rumors are true. Microsoft has built its own custom AI chip that can be used to train large language models and potentially avoid a costly reliance on NVIDIA. Microsoft has also built its own ARM-based CPU for cloud workloads. Both custom silicon chips are designed to power its Azure data center as ready the company and its enterprise customers for a future full of AI. Huh. Microsoft actually had a long history of silicon development, explains Randy Borka, head of Azure hardware system and infrastructure at Microsoft. Collaborated on silicon for the Xbox more than 20 years ago and even co-engineered chips for the Surface devices. These efforts are built on experience. Huh. The new Azure chips are both built in-house at Microsoft, combined with a deep overhaul of its entire cloud server stack to optimize performance and power costs. We are rethinking the cloud infrastructure for the era of AI. Interesting. Ooh, manufactured on a 5 nanometer TSMC process. Mia has 105 billion transistors, around 30% fewer than the 153 billion found on AMD's own NVIDIA competitor. 105 billion. Wow. Maya implementation, first implementation of the sub 8-bit data type, MX data type, in order to code design hardware and software. This helps us support faster training models and inference times. Wow. I don't know what any of that really means, but Microsoft is part of a group that includes AMD, ARM, Intel, Meta, NVIDIA, Qualcomm that are all standardizing the next generation of data formats for AI model. Microsoft is building on the collaborative and open work of Open Computer Project to adapt entire systems to the needs of AI. Mia is the first complete liquid-cooled server processor built by Microsoft. The key is for Microsoft to spin these AI servers up more quickly without having to make room for them in data centers around the world. Interesting. Oh, you had a good idea? I had a good day. I did DoorDash. All right, Charles. Have have you done DoorDash before? I know you did Instacart. Or I think you told me you did Instacart. Did you use your dad's Mazda? Right on. Oh, you got a Subaru Legacy. All right. Did you just get that or have you had that for a while? And what do you think of the Subaru? Are you happy with that car? Hmm. I'm sorry to hear about the passing of your grandfather. That's right. Subarus are all-wheel drive. I forgot that. That's what makes Subarus unique. They're sure loved in the snow. And they copied the Volkswagen motor and made it waterproof. Oh, that's good. You got new tires because snow is coming or winter's coming. When you get snow, like how much will you have? Like, do you get 2 feet of snow sometimes? I think you get really bad. Good in the snow. I have, yeah. I think sometimes you get terrible snow. Okay, American Airlines passenger ordered to pay huge restitution after forcing flight to be diverted. $40,000. Woo! Bummer. Okay. FAA clears SpaceX to launch second Starship flight. Well, that's nice. Oops, that's not the one I want to read. I got to read this article. Oh, they're probably not going to let me. Spotify tattoo QR code. This scannable Spotify tattoo sounded like a good idea at the time. It's becoming popular to get inked with barcodes so you can flash your flesh to turn on music. But the codes can stop working as the skin ages and ink fades. What? That is a stupid idea. Have you completed the anti-gravity machine? No, I haven't. I wish I did. Very rare to get 2 feet, usually 6 inches to 12 inches max. Yeah. Uh, Crab roach. It's my intent to be working on it over the winter time. Yeah. I still don't have money for an oscilloscope, which is about 190 bucks. That would take a lot of guesswork out of things I need to be doing, but we'll something will work out. Yeah, my productivity's been slow. There's one constant, my ability to make excuses. That's a very good constant. Oh, now we can go to politically incorrect. Another place full of excuses. Apparently, Israel has a way to extract semen from a dead soldier. They put an electric thing in the butt, and it makes the dead person ejaculate, and they collect the sperm so the wife can have babies. That's super weird. Mhm. Here's kind of a story that I don't really understand, but undercover federal people in plain clothes shot a guy in a wheelchair 11 times, and he's paralyzed. Luckily, he's still alive. They were camping on public land, like I'm surprised they didn't just serve an eviction notice on them. I'm not sure why the secrecy. It's just sad when innocent people get shot. Extrajudicial killings. Like, if we don't have a court of law to protect the people, then what government do we have? We just don't have. This is the secret meeting in Geneva, Switzerland right now. World Economic Forum is meeting for 72 hours between the 13th, and it will end on today, the 15th. So that's interesting. No media coverage. People are trying to speculate what they're doing. And they did promise us an internet cyber attack last summer, like a year ago, 12 months ago, or 6 months ago. They kept saying, well, we're going to have a cyber attack. So clearly they're planning to do a cyber attack. And they had noted that Tyson chicken tendies, Tyson had a cyber attack, and another mortgage company had a cyber attack, and there's been some ransom attacks on some other companies. Those ransom things are fucking pretty badass. I mean, talk about a way to hold a company hostage. You infect their computer system with ransomware. There's literally nothing they can do. You can lock up a whole company and then extort them and then get paid in like cryptocurrency, and it's very untraceable. Like it's very well, it's the most high-tech electric terrorism I can think of. Hello, Adam. It's probably state-sponsored, Israel, America. Yeah. Don't know. Oh. Oh. No, I still live in the desert. To Mr. Crab. All right. Mr. Crab, do you know I have another YouTube channel? This is my backup channel. So the other one is Wayne Lambright. I. So for Wayne Lambright III. I mean, if you care, if it's that interesting to you. Oh my God, Nikki Haley just lost the election. She says here the retirement age for Social Security and Medicare may need to be raised to 72 to 75 for workers who are currently under 40. No. Okay, young people, you got to get registered to vote. They're just going to turn you into a slave for life. Like I said, I would lower the retirement age to 60. We can afford it. If they can afford to give billions and billions to Ukraine, there's some rumbles. I could almost feel it, I thought. I doubt it's thunder. No, I've never bet Obama. Yeah, we can afford. Well, the money. We make our own money. We can do whatever we want. Isn't that inflationary? They just printed 400% more money. They basically robbed every American of 80% of their own money. So our government can do anything it wants and has shown they will do anything they want, regardless of what's good for us. They flooded our nation with immigrants. There's no homes for them. It's pushing up the price of rents. They're creating chaos in our own country. Our House of Representatives and the Senate are not prosecuting the Department of Justice for breaking the law. Like, we're in a state of anarchy. We're in a soft civil war. I've been saying this for years. We're also in a soft World War III. Funding Ukraine against Russia, pretty dangerous. 400,000 Russians have died because of our funding. Crab, I think you're trolling me, okay? So I'm going to give you a timeout. Here's a story about prepping. Did anyone else get totally scammed into prepping? I got all this bullshit that I don't have a chance in hell of ever using. Cans of food that are already developing rust and sticky residue outside them. A fuck ton of solar energy billing. Billing, yeah, Biling, as if Muslims hiding in caves won't have plenty of electricity. Nasty ass powders that supposedly turn into things when you add water. Tons of vitamins. Well, if you feel robbed by prepping, just start eating your prepping food. It's food that you're supposed to be able to eat. So if it's perishing early, use it now. Somebody says they hoarded 2,000 worth of toilet paper. And now it's more than double with inflation. So that was a good move after all. Huh. Sirius XM messed with their classic rock channel. Boomer listeners aren't happy, according to Rolling Stone. It's kind of funny. Adam, what's going on with you these days? Adam, do you live in a place where it snows? Here's a picture of a beehive and then a wasp nest. And it says, you can't expect me to believe there's a race of creatures living in well-organized homes who spend all their day making candy while their evil counterpart hides out in menacing fortresses that argue over destruction. Wasps. Wow. That is like a really good take on it. Germany banning pro-Palestinian subreddits. Germany is like Israel. It's even worse than Israel. Kanye West's wife has escaped to Australia because of controlling Kanye West. She's already tired of his drama. That seems reasonable. The air conditioning propellant 134A, they're saying they're going to outlaw it soon. Yeah. Tucker Carlson has a new thread. I don't really like Tucker anymore. Not that I ever liked him. I kind of never. Just in the last year, I watched his stuff because, and he doesn't provide solutions. He just makes people angry. Well, there's a fair amount of "Why don't you love Israel?" conversation, and there's a fair amount of people hating Israel, so I would say that politically incorrect is controlled by Israel and Israel-minded individuals, so Israel is still painting themselves to be a victim while they're the victimizer, and, my false flag radar is still alert because they're playing the victim card when they're totally not the victim, because this is an act, and it's an act in a big theater production, and we're probably just 30% into it. More is to come. That's my suspicion. There was a thread called Operation Catastrophe talking about 15 US cities attacked to be blamed on Hamas as a false flag. That's reasonable. People talking about the thread being deleted, but then it's being reposted. So threads get deleted all the time. Doesn't mean it's true. So, I mean, it says here they've got diarrhea in Gaza, which is really bad. So, unsafe, sanitary, problems with water. They're creating a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. They're trying to say that stair rape. The U.S. needs to have federal laws regulating stair rape. Definition of sexual assault should extend to an act by a male perpetrator which causes female victims to feel sexual discomfort or shame. Absolutely not. That's ludicrous. That is ludicrous. They're just, they're trying to give women the perpetual victim card. Women are kind of like Israel. They create drama. They create lies and destroy men's lives, and they destroy their children's lives. Women can be train wrecks sometimes. Slaving away, Adam says. No, it rains here in Low County, Oregon. All right. 38 minutes. I just feel my broadcasts for the last week have been kind of like we've had some good entrepreneur discussions. That's been fun. But the news for the last week has been pretty I don't know. I had a nice phone call I had a first date phone call yesterday around 3, and then we talked last night around 10 o'clock for like an hour, and then we talked this morning, which was nice. This is Lady Z. She's a writer. She's a Jew, and she wrote a book about her rabbi father. I think her grandfather was a rabbi also, and she's trying to get it published. And she's going through having other writers give her how to get it published. And people are like, if you're a writer, well, she's getting feedback from other people, and other people are like, well, you should get more to the point, and they're giving her feedback where it might require a rewrite. And I'm like, well, that's what being a writer is, which is you have your style, and you might want to just You're not gonna make anybody happy. I was trying to tell her, like, there's a Lao Zao, if you care what others think, you become their prisoner. So she's trying to, get approval of people to get published, but how much money do you get when you're published? And the answer is not much. Like the publisher might take 90% of the money. So I told her about the Amazon self-publishing and things like that. I got you on like a podcast while I work, not a lot on chat participation. Oh, that's okay, Adam. These are good broadcasts. Still working on getting you a war mode. On war mode? What is I don't These are good broadcasts. Still working on getting you on war mode. What does war mode mean? Is that that's a podcast, I think. Yeah. Woo. Oh, I think I might have put on a little weight. I got to pull out the scale and see. Um, that's okay. It's wintertime. Yeah, War Mode podcast as a guest. Okay, Adam, thank you for doing that. I was on Ethan and Ralph's show maybe yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. That's nice. He's got quite a big audience. Well, I'm kind of tired tonight. I don't have any really entrepreneur ideas to be talking about. But that's not going to stop me from trying. I want to talk about the paraglider. This is not a business idea, but I just think those paragliders are super cool. And I think they're $5,000. And I saw a guy on YouTube, and he's got a paragliding YouTube channel, and he flies his paraglider all around and films it, of course. And one of the episodes was him flying it at Burning Man. And I'm like, wow, like it's kind of a safe idea because if the motor stops, you're a parachute and you just glide on down. I guess some dangers of a paraglider are that somehow the string could be twisted and then you fall out of the sky. Maybe you have a backup parachute. Yeah. Well, if anti-gravity's flying also, so I should be working on that. I still haven't cleaned up in here. I don't know why. I guess I've had low energy. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. It's not going to rain tomorrow. It's not as long as all these excuses. Like it was windy recently, and I didn't want to do it during the wind. Yeah. I saw a weight bench for free on Craigslist, a bench press, but no bar, no weights. But I decided I was like I told myself if another one comes up, no more lazy excuses. Go get it, and I didn't go get it. I'll get there. Well, friends, let's call this a night. Let me thank everybody for being here. Charles Smith, thank you for being here. And congrats on the DoorDash, Charles. And Adam S., thank you for being here. Okay, friends, have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.